start on this trail and go to Trail 4. Trail 4 and the Pioneer Village to the right, which is where we're going to go. So we're going to head this way. This must be the beginning of the Pioneer Village. It says no pets beyond this point. This is called the Village Ordinary. I think this is normally where you'd get concessions, but they're not open right now. What was the Village Ordinary back in the old days, honey?
Yeah, it's like where you would go to find a place to eat. And it also applied to the inn or the tavern. And then it said during the 1800s, though, American travelers then began using the French word hotel.
Normally, though, you can get food and drink here.
As Tim Tracker says, not a cloud in the sky.
Shout out to Tim Tracker. This is the first structure we come to.
So what is this?
This is where the weaver would be. There's a loom there where they sit and make rugs or whatever. This is called the warping board.
An apron. He's made an apron right there.
This gentleman looks like the supervisor, and he's not too happy about their work. Work faster. And this is the Sheik's house. It was built by George Sheik's about 1816.
That's him. He looks friendlier.
There's Mr. Sheik's. Yeah, he looks friendlier. And a broad axe that would be used to help build a log home. And some of the materials of the person would be making the rug. That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Fireplace back there.
This is the next house. Ew, it's huge. Let's see what it says it is. A Granny White House, a pioneer home. Raised April 14th of 1824, restored in 1931. Wow. Look at that craftsmanship. There's Granny's bed. And then a trundle bed underneath it that they could pull out. There's a fireplace. And they made rugs too. Granny White. Yeah, she was born in 1785, died in Indiana at the age of 94. Look at that quilt back there. That's beautiful. And the quilt's on the bed. So they walked over here to eat. Like, was this part of Granny's house too? Wow, she was rich. This is the big house. Usually they all lived in one room house. This must have been where they cooked the food at that fireplace. There's some of the dishes back here in the cabinet. There's their table they sat at, seated 5. This is the building that's called the leather shop.
Yeah, you see the shoe? You see how it's stitched together?
You probably need this to stretch the leather out then.
Yeah, you put it under the form, help just to hold it and while you're stitching it and help form it. I made some of the smaller items on the table here.
Oh, cool
some
though.
Bags and stuff. Just the different leathers there
That you can kind of feel.
The pig leather being the most common. They had a lot of pigs in the village here.
I like the cup.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think of a cup out of leather. What did they put inside, or is it
They would
sealed?
line it with a tree pitch or a beeswax.
Okay.
And that would seal it and make it watertight.
Wow. And the buckets too.
Bucket same way.
So have you worked here quite a while?
No, this is my first season here.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we heard this weekend was the opening weekend.
Yes, this is the welcome back weekend.
Awesome.
We came at the right time.
Yeah.
So then are you guys open until Labor Day, or how late in the summer are you open?
We'll be here until like October or so.
Okay.
And then they have a Christmas event that we'll come back for.
Oh,
During
okay.
Christmas, have candlelight tours.
Oh, neat. Neat.
It's a huge turnout. So.
And this is the grist mill. That is pretty cool looking. Looks like the sluice there that brings the water that powers the wheel. And this is really nice here. Very pretty again with the water rushing down. Water's coming down pretty fast here. A lot of rapids. It goes under the bridge and out that way. This is just a really nice spot. The grist mill isn't working, but you can imagine what this was like when the water was running on it. That would have been pretty cool to see. That goes a long way. That building is about 3 stories high. And this is where we've been already over there. And here's the inner workings of the mill. All the gears that were turned by the big wheel. This looks like spare parts here. And here's some of the early Hoosier tools they used. That was used to harvest clover seeds, candle molds for tallow candles. This was a grain bin. And in here is also the printing press.
So they got to rip the water wheel off and take the wall out and to lift this 4 to 5 ton shaft out. So,
Is that original to the whole building? You think,
no, that was put in the 1950s. The tree was about 150 years old when they put it in.
Are they gonna start that this summer?
They're gone. They're already trying to set the. So yeah, they are working on it. I was told at least a year. So, and the good thing is we are going to start up our distillery. So we are going to start making whiskey this summer.
So they're going to get the mill going again. They're going to fix it, and actually going to have a distillery. They're going to make their own whiskey. And there's an upstairs. We're going to go up there.
It's like a museum. There's candy.
War and weapons, smoked rifles and swords, and a signal flare cannon. This is some of the work that the cobblers did, making shoes, children's shoes, baby shoes, and even wooden shoes. So some interesting stuff here. Things from the lifestyle of people back then, and some things you might find in a pioneer school in Indiana. The major denominations were Methodists, Baptists, and Presbyterians. Things they made with tin and pewter. On glasses. Treenware. I didn't know what that was, but it says the word treen comes from the Old English pronunciation of the word trees. All this was made out of wood. And an exhibit on the politics.
Got a picture when Lincoln was dying.
And they're showing Abraham Lincoln here because Lincoln did live in Indiana for a little while. And there's a third floor. Yeah, watch your step on the stairs. Donna says they're really thin.
Yeah, like I have a size 9 foot and it's not even big enough for my 9.
These were some of the original owners of Spring Mill, the last Hamers of Spring Mill. So this family was very important to the development of this area.
This is the meeting house. We think maybe they might have had church in here this morning. We're gonna look inside and see what we see. Oh yeah, they could have. There's a piano or organ and a lot of pews. I bet that's where they did have it. They even have a chandelier up there with like real candles in it.
Services are 8:30 to 9 every Sunday morning, May through October.
Wow. So you live in this area, you should definitely come out here at 8:30. Or if you're staying at Spring Mill Inn, come out here and you could get back in time for breakfast.
It says non-denominational by the Lawrence County Ministerial Association.
Huh, so maybe all the pastors take a turn.
And up here is the blacksmith shop. And over here is like a barn where they keep their farm implements. There's like a covered carriage, almost like a little 2-person stagecoach. And an open carriage, covered wagon. That looks like something you'd use to grind grain. And here's another wagon, some type. Not sure what all this machinery is for. Oh, there's a grinding wheel, probably of some kind. Here's the blacksmith shop. It is closed right now. Out to lunch. That is a cool looking old building. And it has a horseshoe over the door, open to the top. And that means good luck. And here's a view of the Pioneer Village from the corner where the blacksmith shop is. So we're gonna head on this way. Tiny little waterfall. And the water feeds on down that way.
Spring house.
Spring house erected 1840.
So the spring was underground here?
Oh, maybe they came here to get their water
Who knows?
or whatever. Keep things cold here. Several rooms in this house.
Maybe more than one family lived in
Yeah,
here.
big fireplace. Maybe this is a sitting room
This is weird.
and a desk. What is this?
Throwing money on the bed.
Oh, I guess this is a thing. People throwing money on this bed in this room. That's funny.
They do need donations, if that's kind of.
Yeah, I guess they can keep that as a donation. I'm gonna go up the stairs and see what's up here. And These are bedrooms. It's the regular bed and a trundle bed that pulls out from underneath, and a baby bed. And there's a connecting hallway here, and another bedroom with a spinning wheel and a rocking chair. This looks like it was the owner's house here. It's nice and big, 2-story. Hi, Donna. Do you wish you lived here? You wish you had something to drink. And there's an open garden area.
If you guys have any questions about the village, I'll answer any questions that you have. That mill over there, the corner is rounded off. That is because we used to have 350 head of hogs that ran free through the village, and they all scratched their behinds in that corner. And they did, they rubbed the corners really, really smooth on the mill. That's so strange. The reason we had a grist mill wasn't just to grind corn for the farmer. We had the grist mill to get 9 to 16% of their corn as their feed for grinding, and then we took it to the distillery and made whiskey. When they built that mill was built in 1817. I actually think it's kind of a miraculous thing that when they built that mill, they started construction on it in May, and they were grinding corn for farmers in October. The thing that I think is so amazing about that is back then, in 1817, the only place you could go to get good grindstones was Marne, France. And so they got their grindstones from Marne, France. And somehow they could get on a ship, get to France, get the grindstones, get them back over here, bring them from the East Coast, and I don't know if they did it up riverways or how they did it, but they brought them here and had them in place and ready to grind in less than 6 months.
They do have a little mercantile store where you can buy souvenirs and different things, candles, some candy.
Let's get some of the peppermint.
Pioneer Village was really cool. They have a distillery, the grist mill, the blacksmith shop, a leatherworks place, and lots to look at.